Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I did not know what to do a video on this week. I had a couple of different ideas and now I have ideas for further weeks, so that's good. But a couple of people asked me about books that would be good for 8 to 12-year-old girls. And obviously I used to be in that age category and read a lot of books, but I've always loved reading from when I learned to read when I was like 4 or 5. So I've always loved reading, and I've definitely loved like historical fiction and stuff like that. So I tried to find some books that were maybe not ones that I loved at that time, but also books that my sister liked or other books I know that have come out that other girls like, and I trust their judgment. So I have so many books because I just went around my house and found all the books that would be good for that age range, and I actually am now thinking of more I could have grabbed, but I kind of put it into different categories so you can just look at the different categories and see what kind of books, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview of each one and not spend too much time on it. So my first category is mystery, and this book right here is the American Girl mystery books, and we only have a couple of them, so I can't say that they're all great or anything, but I know I've read this one, and me and my sister really liked these books. They're just fun mysteries, especially if you already like the American Girl books. The mystery books are really cool. I like these, so definitely check those out. So that's the only one I have in the mystery category because I didn't know at that age if you would really like books like that much. Then the next category that only has one book in it also is sort of, I didn't know which category to put it in. It's kind of historical fiction, kind of fantasy, but it's one of my favorite books, and it's called The Lost Property Office, and this is by James R. Hannibal. And books like this are something that I just love. So this one is about the fire of London, and kind of it's its own story about this kid who has like sort of magical powers and everything, but it takes on the topic of the fire of London, which is a little bit of a mystery, and they go back in time and figure out like what actually happened. So I really love this book, and it's one of those books where they have to like go into libraries kind of and find clues and all that. So yeah, I really loved this one, and there's also a sequel. I would highly recommend it. The next category would be fantasy. So actually, even though I don't like fantasy that much, I have a lot in that category for some reason. So these books, that I loved these so much whenever I was younger. I don't know how old I was, but there's like 7 of these books, and they are the Land and Snow series, and these are just so fun. He goes through a book of meanings that leads him into a world of puzzles and different things, and he meets like a chess horse and all this stuff. This book was super fun, and it also has, like, it mentions the Bible in there. I loved these books and just devoured the whole series, so I would definitely recommend these. Maybe boys would like it more as the main character is a boy, but if you like reading and kind of adventurous things, I would definitely recommend this one. This one is all girly. The boys in my house are like, that is so gross, but I loved this book, and it's called Tuesdays at the Castle, and it's about a princess who lives in a castle, and the castle actually moves. So if you're familiar with Harry Potter, it's sort of like that. The staircases move, but just whole rooms. You wake up one morning and the throne room is in a different part of the house, and the kitchen might be right next to your bedroom. It's super fun. I love this book. I got it from Barnes & Noble, and there's also a sequel called Wednesdays in the Tower, I think. I would definitely recommend this one. And I think any young girl would really like it. It's just a fun, fantastical book. And then the other ones that my mom actually read these out loud to us, so I would recommend them as a read aloud, but you could also read them on your own. The Borrowers series, and these are kind of classics. It's about a family of tiny people who have little adventures. You can see them in their little house under here, and then on a hot air balloon, and there are 5 of those books. I really like these and would recommend them. There's also a movie, I think, an older movie, and then there was a newer one that we watched that was pretty good. The Dragon of Lonely Island. It's about 3 kids who go spend the summer with their aunt on an island, and they find a three-headed dragon there, and they talk to it and learn different things from it. So this one's really cool, and when I was probably around 10, I read this book and loved it. I've already mentioned this one in my video about what to read during quarantine, so I would definitely go check that out if you want a full overview of this book. But it's Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, and I didn't read this one until I was 16, 17. My sister read it when she was 11, 12, but I know other people who love this book. This is just super fun book. I would definitely recommend. The next category is historical fiction, and this is one of my favorite categories, especially right now, but there's not a ton for a younger age group, but something that I just absolutely loved whenever I was around the 8 to 12 age was the Dear America diaries. So here's just one of them I picked up. I have a whole shelf back here. You can see that middle one. It's just all these diaries, and I loved these so much because they're fictional diaries of people, but they tell you so much about that time period in history. So this one's from 1847, going on the Oregon Trail, and then also there's the Royal Diaries, which are the same thing but about royalty, obviously, and this one's about Eleanor, Queen of Aquitaine, from 1136. So it ranges all time periods. I have one from like Pearl Harbor, San Francisco, stuff like that. This one, 1137. So I love these books. I read all of them, collected all of them, because I just love learning about history, and I love learning about it in a interesting way where you're in the lives of the people. So definitely would recommend those. Super fun, especially if you're trying to make school more fun, maybe. Like, these would be really good books for that. So okay. Then I have some books that are just fiction, and they're not they don't have anything fantastical in them. They're just things that could happen in everyday life. So the first one is The Mysterious Benedict Society, and we listened to this one out loud as a family recently, but I also read it whenever I was much younger, so I think it would make a great read aloud. Our mom actually read it out loud to us whenever some of us were younger. I love this one. It's about 3 kids with special giftings who work together in the Mysterious Benedict Society, and they sort of solve mysteries, get the bad guy, but it's just super fun. Learning how to deal with friends that might be difficult at times, different personalities, but also there's a little bit of peril, and I just really loved these books. Definitely one of my favorites. Also in that category are these books. There are 4 of them, Where the Lion Roars at Night, and I don't know if it's actually not fiction. So it's about a family living in New Zealand, and they buy a piece of property that is big, and they need to clear it, they need to build a house on it, so they're living in the barn, and it's just real life. They have 6 kids, homeschool family, but it's written in just a really interesting way that would be like fiction, and they have little drawings in there. I really enjoyed these books whenever I got them, because I like reading about just real life things that are written in an interesting way. So it's almost like a biography of their family, and I really, really enjoyed these ones and would really recommend it because it's written by a Christian homeschooling family, and I think your family, your daughters, would really enjoy this book. And then Eleanor Estes, this is the Moffats, but she wrote a bunch of other books, and these are just, I really enjoyed these whenever I was younger. There's Sylvie, the oldest kid, who is clever, and then Joey, who's 12, man in the house, but is a crazy kid. And there's Janie, who's just the fun little girl, and then Rufus, who's the littlest boy, and he reminds me a lot of my brothers. And these books are just fun, the adventures that little kids get into and the problems they cause and everything. So I would definitely recommend the books by Eleanor Estes. Ginger Pie, Pinkie Pie, those are other ones she wrote, and those are about animals. I loved all her books, and they were just like fun, almost fantasy, but real life things that happen. Also, Sarah Plainenthal. This is about, kind of an old-fashioned frontier home, and it's a stepmother who comes to live with them, but she's just really sweet and fun and very plain, so they have to get to know her personality. and it's super cool, just the importance of family, definitely for a younger age group, and there are also sequels to this with her kids and everything, so I loved that one. And then the last category is classics, which I could have grabbed so many of these because I love classics, and there's so many about little girls, just like Secret Garden or Pollyanna or things like that. But just a couple that I grabbed that my sister said she really liked would be Stuart Little, which you've probably heard of, but this is a cute book just about, you know, the little mouse who lives in the house, and his adventures and everything, so I'd recommend that one. And then also Charlotte's Web by the same author. You've probably seen the movie, but if you wanted to read the book and just enjoy the original story, I would recommend that one. So there are a ton of recommendations for girls aged about 8 to 12, depending on your reading level, of course. It could be for any age, and even I enjoy a lot of these books even today, so I would definitely recommend that you go pick up a copy of those. You can order them off of Amazon. I'll put all the links in the description below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos once a week about reading mostly, and sometimes about clothes or skincare, so please subscribe if you're not already, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!